And Brussels must also answer why this war is not ending. I say this because there's been a bombshell of a revelation. The war began in February last year. It could have ended in March. Russia was ready. Ukraine was ready, but the West was not. So they did not let the war to end. Says who? Naftali Bennett, the former Prime Minister of Israel. He's given a tell-all interview with some very big revelations. Bennett says he brokered a deal in March last year. He says Putin and Zelensky were both ready to make concessions, but guess who killed the deal? The West. They wanted to hammer Putin. This is what Naftali Bennett has said. Now, quick recap. Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February 2022. 8 days later, on the 4th of March, Bennett was in Russia. He was playing mediator, an unlikely but a crucial link between Putin, Zelensky, and the West. Remember, only a few Western leaders met Putin at the time. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett was one of them. He says Putin promised not to kill Zelensky.
So 3 to 4 hours into the meeting, I'm getting into the meeting now. I asked Putin, what's with? Are you going to kill Zelensky? He said, I won't kill Zelensky. Then I said to him, I have to understand that you're giving your word that you won't kill Zelensky. He said, I won't kill Zelensky.
I will not kill Zelensky, said Putin. And that's not all. He was apparently willing to drop a major demand, the disarmament of Ukraine. This was Putin's proposal. What did Bennett do with it? Let's have it from the horse's mouth.
I call Zelensky and say, I came out of a meeting, he's not going to kill you. Zelensky asks, are you sure? I replied, 100%. He won't kill you. 2 hours later, Zelensky went to his office and filmed himself there on his phone. I'm not afraid. Anyways, that was one concession. The other was that he renounced the disarmament of Ukraine.
And what happened after that? Bennett says Ukraine too was ready to make concessions. Zelensky said he will not seek NATO membership. So this was the deal. Putin would back off on two fronts, the disarmament of Ukraine and the threat to kill Zelensky. And in return, Zelensky promised not to pursue a NATO membership for Ukraine. There was scope for an agreement. The war could have ended, but the West did not let that happen. I have a machine-translated transcript of that interview. Listen to what Naftali Bennett said when he discussed the deal with Western leaders. This is what happened, and I'm quoting, each leader has their way. Boris Johnson adopted an aggressive line. Macron and Scholz were more pragmatic. Biden was both. And that's it. I think there was a legitimate decision by the West to keep striking Putin. Anything I did was coordinated down to the last detail with the US, Germany, and France. They, and Bennett means the Western leaders here, they blocked it, and I thought they're wrong. So that's how it all went down. The West wanted to keep striking Putin, so they blocked a legitimate attempt at peace. As long as the Ukrainians were the ones who were dying, as long as they were the ones who were fighting, the West seemed happy with a long-drawn war. And how is that decision panning out? As always, war is a bad idea. Look at what's become of Kiev. There's utter chaos. The government is firing top leaders in the middle of a war. It says a lot about their strategy and their leadership. Yesterday, reports of a major exit emerged. They said Ukraine's defense minister could be replaced. His name is Oleksiy Reznikov. He's a top ally of President Zelensky. He announced his exit on Telegram, but it's not done yet.
When I entered public service for the first time in 2014, I was then the secretary of the Kyiv City Council, and I immediately told everyone that no official is in his chair forever. Therefore, you should always be ready for such a scenario. The decision to be the Minister of Defense or not is made by one person. According to the Constitution, it's the Commander-in-Chief and President of the country, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Zelensky himself has not issued a statement yet. And let me repeat, Ukraine is in the middle of a war. They're talking about a major offensive from Russia. There are reports of Russian reinforcements in eastern Ukraine. At a time like this, who changes their defense minister? The man who's in charge of the entire war effort. Why is he being axed? Because Zelensky does not really have a choice. A series of corruption scandals have hit his government, and Ukraine's defense minister is at the center of this. Procurements for the military are under the lens. More specifically, two deals. One is for military catering and the other for electric generators. Reports say these procurements happened at an inflated price. The damage has been more than financial. Zelensky's reputation has taken another hit. He is losing the trust of his allies. He must clean up his system or lose aid. And the timing couldn't be worse. The anniversary of the war is round the corner. Reports say Russia is planning a major operation in Donbass. Russian forces could try to seize this entire region. Currently, they control over 20% of the territory. Will Ukraine be able to defend itself? Guess we'll have to wait and see.